we might have had another problem with the video. I don't know why. So we had numerous problems with the video this morning. So sorry if well, it's afternoon now, isn't it? But our video of the morning session appears to have been broken off a few times. We're talking about HN95, Stefan Scutt, who we heard the introduction of evidence about, followed by the live evidence of HN90. We've talked quite a bit about HN95 now, Stefan Scutt. I don't know how much of it actually worked with the video, but we're just going on to talk now about the live evidence of HN90. He was an undercover police officer who stole the identity of a child, Mark Kerry. I would say this, but I think it's worth repeating. He didn't just take the name. He visited the area, Farnham and Aldershot, where the child was born and was brought up. He visited the address of the parents. He stayed there for 2 days, familiarising himself with the area, really building his legend and an identity that was based on the life that this child would have had if he had not tragically died. There's something particularly ghoulish about this sort of procedure, and HN90 is no different to many of the other undercover police officers who stole the identity of dead children.
And also, he described going to the local, it must have been the local library, and looking at the local press to see if there were any reports about the death of the child who died, to see if that would, ring any alarm bells. He described this loose leaf file in the back office which had advice where various officers had put ideas, and it was all about a legend, but there was nothing about sexual relationships or avoiding them.
Yeah, that's the tradecraft manual, which we've talked about quite a lot. It was with the first document released by the inquiry. It's been referred to as like the blue book.
Okay. It was felt that the Revolutionary Communist group was too hard to infiltrate directly, so they went through one of his fronts, the City of London anti-apartheid group, and there was a discussion about how that had been chosen for him, and he felt that management and likely the security services, MI5, had chosen that target, which he understood from his earlier special branch work to be subversive in some way by his own definition.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't start off from putting on that group. He started off just going along to like a Pathfinder bookshop opening, where he discovered the Communist League, who were the group behind the bookshop. He went along to their meetings where he found out they were intending to stand candidates at elections. He reported on that. When it was put to him that this was engaging with the democratic process, not being subversive, he went, well, this is what they do, you see. They're trying to get in somewhere, like getting elected. HN90, you fucking prick. But yeah, there was a lot of, he was asked quite a lot about whether he had any training or any guidance on sexual relations or sexual advances. He said nothing, never, not at all, never mentioned, never brought up. He's had no idea about any of his other undercover officers having any issues around that. Just a quick reminder that the officers who were deployed at the same time with him included Bob Lambert, Andy Coles, John Dines, HN67, Matt Rayner, all of Trevor Morris, all officers that we know, all of them apart from Andy Coles have admitted to having sexual relations with their targets. The idea that he was unaware of this would suggest that he's a very, very stupid man, or he's a complete liar. I don't think he's a stupid man. I think he's a liar.
Wouldn't he have met them?
I can't hear you.
Sorry, wouldn't he have met them once a week at the safe house?
Twice a week. Yeah, so he would have met twice a week. He would have regular round-robin reports afterwards and socialise. He was in the back office for 6 months before that. He was very intimately associated with these other men. The idea that he was completely unaware that he claims there was no gossip, which directly contradicts what we've heard from other officers about the backroom conversations that took place. There's no doubt in my mind that HN90 is a completely unreliable witness because he's lying very, very blatantly about all these issues. That's not surprising. This is what the situation we get every single hearing, pretty much. There have been a few very minor exceptions, but all the former undercover police officers have lied about this matter and directly contradict themselves. Now, so far, the line of questioning from the Counsel to the Inquiry has been very clipped, and a lot of the time he offers the answer that's required from the officer within the question. He's not exploring any of the further follow-up questions that could arise from some of the questioning. But we've seen this before. Generally, the morning is like this. In the afternoon, we find out a lot more as the officer gets tired and the questioning gets more specific about some of the things they've said, things that they've contradicted themselves in their written statements. Any further thoughts about HN90?
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening. I'm shocked, I tell you. Not sure about that. But also at the beginning, he said that he went on this trip to Aldershot to establish his legend, where he drove around the street of the deceased child whose identity he'd taken. And he said, yes, I gave notice to my handlers that I was going there and had their approval. And he said that at the time that was the only way he could have established a legend. But it's interesting that it seems that management, while not exactly encouraging them, were certainly aware of what was going on and to establish their legend.
It was very much a directed thing. It's all laid out in quite detail in the tradecraft manual. All the undercover officers did this. If someone was stealing a dead child's identity, it was not just the name. I've repeated this a lot of times, but I think it always bears repeating. It was never just the name. It was always about visiting the place, getting a full familiarity, and taking on the identity of the person that they would become. Anything else on HN90?
He also assumed that the local special branch would be checking out the family as well.
That was just normal. We've heard this from pretty much all the other officers. Any thoughts on HN90's general other stuff he's talked about?
He's not really saying very much, is he?
No.
Being a bit cagey, to be honest. And from what we know about the culture of the circles he was moving in, it seems to be a bit different than the others. Different to what the others say.
There's been a whole bunch of contradictions that have come forward from him compared to what the other officers have said. Hopefully we'll learn more this afternoon. I think that the most explosive stuff we've heard today was from the summary of evidence on HN95, Stefan, Scutt. Like I say, we probably will be doing a podcast episode about that. We're certainly doing a bit of more of a deep dive into what was said this morning on this evening's Twitter Spaces. I think there's a lot to be learned from the introduction of evidence. So there's a lot of, I'm not sure if they're on the website yet, but there should be a load of documents related to Stefan Scutt. Obviously, he hasn't given a written statement, which is irritating. He refused. Now lives abroad, so won't be coming to give live evidence. But we will be looking a bit more deep to that. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Let's see what happens in the afternoon. See what comes out.
All right, well, I'll continue to live tweeting throughout the afternoon. We'll do another video with other guests this afternoon. We'll be doing a live Twitter space tonight. Thanks for joining. See you later.